Is now the time to buy a home? I just got off the phone with a potential client that asked me what I thought about the market and if they should buy a home, and had the same conversation last week. So I'm having this conversation a lot, and it made me think I should probably shoot a video, because if I've had several conversations the last couple of days about this, you might be thinking the same thing. So let's dive on into this. Should you buy a house right now? Well, there's a couple things that you should ask yourself, because everybody's situation is different. One thing I would, ask yourself: where do you think, home prices are going? Where do you think interest rates are going? In reality, neither one of those questions matter. What you really should be asking yourself is, how long do you plan on staying in the home? If you're plan on staying in the home, 7, 10, 15 years, it really doesn't even matter what's going on today, because the market more than likely will be completely different, then when you get ready to sell the home. Now, if you're trying to basically day trade real estate, or time the market perfectly or something like that, you probably shouldn't do that, because more than likely you're going to end up losing. I tell my clients, if you're like anything less than 5 years in a normal market, maybe even 7, you're probably better off either renting, if you're renting now, continue to rent, or staying where you're at. Because most of the time, if you're going to buy now, within that 5-year period or so, excluding what's happened the last 2 years, because that was kind of insane, the appreciation. Most of the time, you're going to end up losing money if you buy and sell too quickly. So it just depends on your time frame. Me personally, I'm in the market right now, but I also went through the 2008 crash. So with that particular house, it took me 10 years from the time I bought it to the time I could sell it for more than what I paid for it. So I am preparing for that. Hopefully it doesn't, happen. But I'm writing down a list of everything I must have in a house. And if that house doesn't, meet those needs, well, one, I don't even go look at it, to consider it. But the ones that do meet the needs, if I go look at it, I like it, and I can afford it, then I'm going to, go ahead and buy it now, no matter what the interest rates are, because I plan on staying there for a while. And, like I said, I can, weather the storm. If you're more than likely, at least history, tells us, you make money long term. So the next thing you need to ask yourself is, is your job secure? If you buy the house because you can afford the rates and all that stuff right now, well, what happens if you lose your job? And obviously nobody knows the future, and in reality, I think that job security is a myth, because it could be here one day and gone the next. Let's just put it that way. You never truly know, but if you feel secure in your job, in your career, then that's a good sign, obviously. Is this particular property going to make you house poor? And what I mean by that is, are you spending most of your money just to live in the house, and you're not able to, do anything else? You're worried about, bills every month, and you're just kind of, stuck, in your house, and with not a lot of other money to be able to do anything. And then also ask yourself, do you have savings? So, kind of a hedge in case, what if you do lose your job, or emergency happens or stuff like that? Do you have savings to weather the storm, where you're not, potentially losing your house, or even have, all that extra worry? So, these are the questions I ask clients, no matter what the market is. But especially in a volatile market like what we're in right now, where, half the world thinks we're going to have a gigantic crash, as bad, if not worse, than 2008. And half the world thinks we're going to go back to a normal market. I think we can all agree on the market is shifting. Right now, we're still technically in a seller's market based on months of inventory, but there's a lot of, factors you can look at because you can spin numbers however you want. So, like I said, every situation is different. You need to sit down, and if you're moving to Tampa Bay area, I'm willing to, sit down with you and come up with the best game plan, whether that's buying a house, renting a house. If you already own a house, staying put, because everybody's situation is different. Some things we're doing with all these higher interest rates is rate buy downs, and we're getting the seller to pay for that. But saying that, you don't want to buy a house that you're comfortable with a lower rate, because in, let's just say, 2 years, let's take the 2-1 buy down rate for example. What that means is the first year your interest rate's going to be 2% lower than what it would be today, and then year 2 it'll be 1% lower than what it is today, and then at year 3 through the rest of the 30 years would be the normal rate that it is today. So your rate's going to go back up. You need to be able to comfortably afford what the rate is today, because, well, one, you're going to have to qualify at the higher rate, but then two, you don't want to buy something hoping you can afford it in the future with a refinance. And these agents that are out there saying, marry the house, date the rate, in theory that's fantastic, but what if you can't refinance in within the next 2 years or something, and all of a sudden you really can't afford the higher rate, you're struggling, it puts you in a bad financial position? I personally just wouldn't do that. So you can do whatever you want, but I personally wouldn't do that. And so yeah, another thing with like rate buy downs, and a lot of our clients are going to new construction homes where we're able to actually, I think I just saw last week, it was either 3.99 or 4.99 that the builder is buying down the rate, but that's permanent for 30 years. So you don't have to worry about, the rate going back up. So that could be an option. For those people that are just unsure about the market right now and they're not sure if they want to buy, we also have, I work with 2 different investors that buy homes for cash, and they'll rent it back to you at a predetermined amount, and they give you the option to buy it in the future if you want to at a predetermined price, and there's no obligation, anything like that. So a lot of my clients are using that as a hedge against the market, just because nobody knows what's really going to happen. Now, is that the best way to buy a house? Absolutely not. And if you know you're going to buy a house now, then it's probably better just to go ahead and buy it. But if you're just unsure, then you can use it as a hedge, because what's your alternative? Stay where you are or rent, if you're already renting. And rents are, high too, so you got to look at that. Either way, if you want to have a conversation about it, I'm gonna shoot you straight. I'm not gonna be that type of agent that's like, hey, it's a great time to buy, it's a great time to buy, it's a great time to buy, if it's not a great time to buy for you. The market, it's always great for someone. Who is that someone? And and that we got to determine depending on the market. So if there's anything I can help you with, feel free to reach out. My contact information will be below. Until next video, take care.